Let's talk about something in retirement that's really big and gets very little attention, and that is what we may actually find ourselves giving up for this lifestyle of freedom. I confidently walked out of the office that day saying goodbye to a steady paycheck and hello to Social Security. Did we plan for this? Absolutely. We had it down to a T. But of course, things do not always go quite as smoothly as we expect. And the big jolt for me is saying goodbye to a little piece of my independence. We're going to talk about how sometimes affect the new chapter, and in my case, a sense of independence. Whether you are retired, considering it, or still dreaming about it, let's dive right in. We will cover loss of independence, adjusting to the shift, and the three major things that I say goodbye to for this new chapter. Retirement truly offers a lot of freedom and opportunity for any choice, but there is an emotional shift for many of us. We've been to the same workplace, we've had the same goals and the same routine, and that shift in routine and purpose, because of our position in that company, is an adjustment. Without those routines, you may find yourself redefining independence and finding a new, unique you. Realizing your role is no longer the go-to person, the one that everybody looks up to, the one that comes to for the answers and how are we going to solve this problem. And you might even be the one who was the social organizer. It's all gone. And that feeling of, I was feeling pretty good about myself. Suddenly we've been replaced. So it's time to create new goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, something to work toward. Reestablishing or redefining routine. That morning routine, the first thing we did together when we got up, we made the bed together. Because of the shifts that we worked, the bed was rarely made. And that was something huge for us. Get up, make the bed, and the day began. Establishing routines, possibly going to the gym, how you fit that in when you have your walks, just those different things. So there's something that you know is on the calendar to look forward to, even if they change. Maintaining a really strong connection or developing and creating a strong connection with family and friends is so important. In fact, adding new friends, especially we relocated and we had to come up with a whole new world of friends, yet still figure out how we connect back home with everyone. It's an adjustment, it's important, and it needs to be taken care of. Here's my three big things. Number one, that personal paycheck. Like many of you, we started earning money at a very, very young age. Some of us ran to the store and bought our favorite candy with it. Others of us, we saved. I saved. I'm a saver. But I also set goals. And I remember that first clock radio was my first big purchase, and I saved up for it. I actually think it was $13, but that's a little crazy. But imagine, that babysitting money, my $13. I saved, I worked, I earned, I saved, I set a goal, and I made the purchase. And then on repeat. Because, talk about independence, the summer before my senior year in high school, I had saved up enough money to fly to California and spent the summer with family, where I actually took care of a young cousin and earned more money. So that paycheck, we've always had it, and we depended on it. And we saved and we put into the pot, but we still had some money to do, not have to answer for it. We could save it, spend it, we could give it away, could anything we want. It was huge for me. Maybe not so much for everybody, but huge. Financial independence. And when that check stopped, of course, the retirement check went into the pot. The pot is mine. I get to dive into it as I need, but it's different. Number two, I came home from school. I needed to go to my new job, and my dad had a car in the driveway waiting for me, partly because I was the oldest of six. Mom couldn't run me around everywhere, but there was my car. That, I think, is the ultimate feeling of freedom and independence. I had my own car. We had a 15-minute quick driving lesson on how to drive a stick shift. And off I went to my paycheck in my new wheels. So what happened? Alex was already retired. We did almost everything together. We went places together. We ran errands together because he'd been waiting for me. And off we went into the one car. So why are we paying for two? At the time, we were leasing two cars. So when the one came up, we decided we're going to release it and go down to one car. We're going to be in Florida. We don't have a lot of places that we would run independently because we want to explore together. And when we got here, I'm going to tell you, car insurance in Florida is no joke. It was a shocker. We left huge expenses up there and never expected that this was going to be the difference here. So it ended up being a really smart decision for the most part, because eventually number 3 comes in, and that's called my space. And I have my space, but I did not have that freedom to just jump in the car and say, I'm going off. I'll be back in a few hours. Where are you going? Well, I don't know. I'm just going to drive around. Well, did you want to come with me? Yeah, I do want to come with you. It's gone. It was gone. So again, number 3 was my space. We talked a little bit earlier about routine and how when you retired, that routine of your day has gone. Alex actually retired several years before me because of disability. And once he was well, he was retired on disability, and he's in the house and I'm at work. So suddenly he's getting up and he's doing things around the house that I would normally do. And he's going to the grocery store and he's taken over cooking. Now, what wife would complain about that? Until Thanksgiving, when it's my time to cook the big dinner, and where are the spices and where's this? I'd lost my kitchen, and I realized I'd lost a huge section of the house. We're now sharing it, which we didn't share before. He worked every weekend. I had all this time, all this space. It was mine, and it's gone. I found a little room upstairs, and it turned into my craft room. But you know what? That was wrong, because he'd been waiting all day for some company, and I've disappeared. I even started working outside the house as a second job. Things got rough, and I was oblivious. I was happy as a clam. I'd found my community, my people, my space, and he was home, and he kept his mouth shut. We didn't know about this until much later. So there was a cost to that freedom. I gave up my space, but I was giving up my connection with my husband. As you address this area of your life, commit to having an open, honest conversation, because all those feelings start stirring up, all those emotions, and it's just too much energy to have to deal with them ourselves. We avoid them a lot because we don't like conflict. It's just not smart, because you're you. You've redefined a unique you, and you've redefined a unique you as a couple. So build it and strengthen it and figure out your own independent freedoms as a couple, as a single. That's my challenge. So back to the car. Here's my a question. Could you put in the comments how you feel about one car, two cars? What's your situation now? What are your plans? How do you think you'll adjust to that? Give me some information in the comments and let's talk about it.